Ms. Hale?
Here.
She just joined.
There's the fiscal court clerk. All right. Warren Fiscal Court, Friday, January 8th, 2021. Hope 21 turns out to be a better year than 2020. Anyway, hadn't started out all that great yet, has it?
Just joined.
Anyway, I'm very happy to welcome all of you all back again this year, and welcome Esquire Mark Young, who's going to lead us in prayer. And immediately after prayer, I'd like to ask everyone to please stand for the pledge to the flag.
If y'all would please bow with me. Almighty and wise Father in heaven, we thank you so much for this day, for the blessings of life, for all the blessings that we receive to sustain us here on this earth. We're indeed grateful. But more importantly, Father, we thank you so much for the spiritual blessings that we enjoy. God, we ask you this morning to be with each member of this court as we conduct the business of the county. We pray, Lord, that we will conduct this business in a manner that is pleasing in your sight. God, we thank you so much for all the freedoms that we enjoy. We pray for our nation, the greatest nation on earth. We know things are not what they need to be, but we pray, God, that we're moving in that direction. God, we thank you so much for your Son and his willingness to die for us on the cross. And it's in his name that we offer this prayer. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Real quick, if anybody has a TV or radio on in the background, could you please turn that off?
All right. Okay, will the clerk please call the roll? Ms. Hale, are you muted?
Esquire McWhorter,
Here.
Esquire Lawrence,
Here.
Esquire Gorman,
Here.
Esquire Payne, Esquire Young,
Here.
Esquire Cummings.
Here.
Okay. Our good friend Esquire Payne is home recovering from surgery, and we miss him today. I'm sure he's, I assume he's probably watching from home, but could not join the meeting. We wish you all the best, Tony. Okay, we need to approve the minutes of the fiscal court meeting of December 18th, 2020. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion for Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings,
Second Gorman.
second by Squire Gorman. Discussion or questions? Additions or corrections? There being none, please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Payne, Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 5 is to approve the work schedule for the Warren County Road Department.
So moved, McWhorter.
Motion by Squire McWhorter,
Second by Lawrence.
second by Squire Lawrence. All right, if there are no questions or discussion, then please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Item number 6 is to approve personnel changes for Warren County.
So moved, Mark Young.
So, motion by Squire Young.
Young.
Second by
Second Gorman.
Esquire Gorman. Any questions or discussion? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Okay. Now, this is not an action item, but at this time, Jack Wright, I think, is Jack on here? Jack was going to,
I actually don't see him, but I know he got the link because I talked to him earlier. Let me try and reach out.
I can understand whoever it
She
was.
said it was Nikki, and she said.
She's gonna contact Jack.
She doesn't see him. She
Nikki
can't
is.
contact him really fast.
Okay.
She knew you wanted to talk.
Well, while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and move on to item number 8. That's to approve a second and final reading of ordinance 2068, approving and authorizing an amended and restated interlocal agreement among the County of Warren, Kentucky, the City of Bowling Green, the Intermodal Transportation Authority, and the Southern Kentucky Regional Development Authority related to the development, promotion, acquisition, design, construction, operation, management, and/or financing of an expansion to the Kentucky Transpark and to a second supplemental contract lease and option among the County of Warren, Kentucky, the City of Bowling Green, and the Intermodal Transportation Authority, Inc., related to the expansion of the Kentucky Transpark. You all are familiar with this. Do I have a motion to approve the second reading?
So moved, McWhorter.
Second by Squire Lawrence.
Motion by Squire McWhorter, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The next item is to approve Resolution 21-1, a resolution of the County of Warren authorizing and approving the issuance of Warren County, Kentucky taxable industrial building revenue bonds as an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $80 million, the proceeds of which shall be used to finance the acquisition, construction, and equipping of a industrial building as defined in KRS 103-200, 1A, and leased to Nova Steel USA, its affiliates, successors, or assigns, authorizing and approving a lease agreement, a payment in lieu of taxes agreement, a mortgage, if required, and such other documents, certificates, agreements, and/or actions necessary or required for the issuance of bonds and the financing of the project.
So moved, Squire Young.
Motion by Squire Young, second by Squire Cummings. Any discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to go to the next one right here first. Item number 10 is to approve Resolution 21-2, a resolution of the Fiscal Court of Warren County, Kentucky, encouraging and inducing Ball Metal Beverage Container Corporation, its affiliates, successors, and/or assigns to proceed with the acquisition, development, construction, and operation of an industrial building by agreeing to undertake the issuance of industrial building revenue bonds in an aggregate principal amount not to exceed $400 million issued in one or more series and/or denomination, agreeing to a memorandum of agreement, lease, and a payment in lieu of taxes agreement, subject to final approval of an incentive package provided by the Commonwealth of Kentucky and agreeing to take such other action as necessary or required to authorize the issuance of the bonds. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Gorman.
Motion by Squire
Second by
Gorman,
Squire Lawrence.
second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Now, do we have Jack Wright on now? Jack? There you are. Y'all may or may not realize that Jack is running for something, and he wanted to make sure that you all were aware and could make some calls for him. Do we have you unmuted, Jack?
I think you do.
Okay.
First of all, you can tell I'm not running for anything that's related to technology because I'm not too good at it. But I do appreciate the opportunity. It is good to see everyone. These are difficult days with COVID-19, and I do appreciate everyone's effort to continue to deliver the government's necessary service to us all. I've said many times, I'm thankful I retired right before all this hit. And for many of you, it is a very unusual and trying time to be alive since my retirement, which has been almost a year and a half ago. I want to update everybody. My niece and I are continuing to be busy with church and other volunteer activities, which the Lord has provided a huge blessing in our retirement. But because of my interest in finances and money management, I've also gone back to WKU to get my accounting degree. I'll be halfway to completing that objective at the end of this spring semester. Well, that same interest in accounting was one of the motivations for me to apply to be included on the ballot for the Board of Trustees for the Kentucky Retirement System. And I was fortunate enough to be included on the ballot. So today I'm asking for your vote in support in the KRS election, which selects 3 individuals to serve on the Board of Trustees for the Kentucky Retirement System. Mike, as you and the magistrates know, the cost of funding the Kentucky Retirement Pension Plan has grown substantially in the recent years. Decisions made out of our control here in Warren County have greatly affected costs for this necessary benefit. If elected to serve on the Board of Trustees, I will provide a voice for Warren County for those decisions. This is an important election for several reasons. First, over the last several years, the number of retirees has steadily approached the number of active workers paying into the retirement system. Second, the board that is being elected now will complete a transition to a new organization for the board. And third, the voting will be via electronic ballot, and we all know a lot of discussion about that recently, but only those who have opted out for a paper ballot or do not have a good email address to access their member services account will receive a paper ballot. So let me know if I can help you access the electronic voting site if you do not get a paper ballot on or shortly after the beginning of the voting period. I want to remind everyone the voting period is January the 20th through March the 1st. And if you have questions, please contact me at 270-529-0045. And you can leave a voicemail or send me a text. You can also call the KRS Member Services, which I've been told is very good. And that number to access their member services is 800-928-4646. Lastly, thank you for the time of day, and I appreciate everyone's vote and support during the upcoming KRS Board of Trustees election. Thank you very much. Good to see everybody.
Good to see you, Jack.
Questions?
We wish you all the best luck in this. Not sure why you'd want to put yourself through this, but we'd feel really comfortable with you representing all of us on the retirement board, and certainly Kentucky needs all of the interested hands and eyes on the retirement system, and we think you do a great job.
Appreciate it, Mike. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
And again, it's already been eye-opening just as I prepared to be on the ballot. We've attended a couple of training sessions, and again, I've already gained some knowledge that I thought, wow, that really happened? Thank y'all. Take care.
Thank you, and good luck, Jack.
Appreciate it.
All righty, let's see here. Okay, item number 11 is to approve for the Warren County Parks Department to amend their current copier contract with the XBS Copier Solutions to include machine upgrades and license to extract data for digital signatures from all employees and the director for payroll submission, event contracts for digital signatures, as well as cost pricing for adding copier machine for new tennis multi-facility complex. And we have Chris Comer is on here to give us a little bit of understanding about this?
Judge and magistrates, I really appreciate you all being willing to allow us to kind of discuss this a little bit. I first want to introduce on the presentation here with me is Allison, and I have a really hard time with her name. So Allison, if you want to say your last name, help me out. Delinsky, I think, is her last name. Allison is with XBS, and then Dana Burnett, our financial manager, is with us as well. And Dana and Allison and several other members of our administrative team have been working diligently on this project. As you all know, COVID-19 has caused various kind of hardships in many different ways. One of the things that hardships oftentimes provide is also opportunities to kind of reflect and see what operational challenges we currently have and have had and how to improve upon those. And what we're going to present here, hopefully in about 2 or 3 slides, is a request to basically amend our existing XBS copy machine contract to be able to go and do and transfer the way that we're currently doing some of our form submittals, accountability items to help better our process as a department as we continue to grow and within the next 12 months add multiple full-time staff and two additional divisions to our team. With that being said, we're going to go through 3 or 4 slides, and Allison and Dana, if I'm going off track here during any of this, and magistrates and court members, if you have any questions, please let us know. But what we're wanting to try to do is over the past several months, we have looked at our internal processes. As you know, COVID has affected our department like all the other departments. We've been open the entire time to service the public with recreational activities, and we continue to have exposures and isolations, reoccurring exposures and isolations as we continue to offer services to the public. One of the things that has affected us is our administrative operation. We currently have administrative staff working from home on adjusted schedules to where we limit our chain of command and our administrative managers so that we're not all piled in together. That way we have some continuity of our structure within the department. And so by doing that, we've identified some areas that we need to improve upon. What we're asking fiscal court today is that we currently have a contract with XBS Printing. It was a 5-year contract with them to lease all of the copy machines for the Warren County Parks and Recreation Department, including all maintenance and services. As you all may or may not know, we have lots of forms. For every accident, playground inspection, work order, purchase order, and payroll sheet, that's all paper for us. And COVID has proven that process is really ineffective in regards to trying to maintain social distancing, cutting back on errands to and from. And so with XBS, Allison's help, Dana's incredible accountability of reviewing with the admin here at the department what we spent over the course of this term, I think you're going to see a true savings. Even though it's going to be a little bit more money up front, I think the long-term savings are going to be incredible. The other thing that this new system will allow us to do is we will have the flexibility. If we have staff or administrative staff that have to isolate at home or be in quarantine, we will now have printers and the capacity for those administrators to work at home, have everything they need to scan, fax, print with this equipment. And if we have IT issues, XBS comes to us. That has happened, that's currently happening, and unfortunately, I think that will continue to happen until we get vaccinations going throughout the community. 90% of our mission critical forms with this new system will be able to be filled out electronically, submitted through this new system, which will be integrated with our QuickBooks finance system, all of our payroll documentation through our deputy payroll software, which fiscal court has been gracious enough to let us use, which has changed the dynamic of how we submit payroll. It will allow us to reduce the amount of trees that we're wiping out with our paperwork that we have, help reduce our carbon footprint. It will increase accuracy. It will shorten the cycle times of us getting payroll to the courthouse and other time-sensitive materials through all of our different operations. And it's going to be able to allow us to redirect some of our administrative time, which you'll see here in a minute, to focus on other operational components that are equally important. So our current annual cost that you'll see is around $185,000 in regards to the next slide that I'll show you. What we're asking for is a new annual investment of $48,000 for this amendment to the existing contract, which is set through December 1st of 2022 with our current contract. And so we're hoping that this will be an estimated annual savings of around $130,000. So what we did with Allison XBS, and their parent organization is called DocuSign, is we went in and we looked at the hours per month that we spend on different functions within the department. The categories in purple on the left show those categories. The green column shows the estimated number of hours that we spend per month assessing the paperwork and working with the paperwork. You'll notice that on timesheets, personal time off, overtime requests, we spend about 113 hours during that process. Time spent on invoices per month, when you break that down, we actually have a payroll task force now, which is made up of 4 administrators within our department to ensure that we are compliant and that we don't have errors. That's about 120 hours. Time spent filing, we file everything. We have files dating back to when the park originated, park system was started. The reason for that is, as you all know, we've had floods, we've had fires, now we've had pandemic. And oftentimes we need to go back and relook through information as we begin new programs, look at ways to improve, identify weaknesses, threats, opportunities, and strengths. And so time spent matching and data entering in QuickBooks with our process there is about 120 hours. If you were to put real-time costs of hours spent in the current amount of money that we put out for scanners, printers, ink, drums, different things like that, it equates out on average to about $15,466 as a department. As you all know, our department has grown. We're not in one office. We're spread over, right now we have 18 different managers. They're spread out at all different locations. And with COVID, we are all working at our locations and we're not trying to mix teams and to try to keep the containment and the quarantine isolations to a minimum of our staff. The annual cost, if you look at what the blue column, you take the column from the cost per month, the little kind of light orange column, multiply that by 12, and you'll see that currently right now, with all the functions in the purple column, we are spending on average across the board roughly $185,000 in regards to those processes. Over the 5-year term, the cost of that with our processes currently, if you look at the amount of time and labor put in by staff, is approximately $928,000. With the request that we're making today, it will enable us to, when we make a purchase at any one of our 400 plus vendors, we will be able to process that purchase order, which we currently submit to Vicki and Greg with our vendor request for payments. That will all be able to be done digitally. That will be captured, set into our existing QuickBooks system, and then all the paperwork that we currently send to Greg and to Vicki, we can still print that off, we can still provide that to the auditors, and we can still provide that to this in the same way and system that we're doing now. However, the front end process is going to be greatly simplified. An example would be is if, Judge, you were to go to Lowe's and you purchased a ladder. You would have to bring the purchase order back to the main office. You'd have to fill out an invoice, purchase order form. You'd have to submit that. Then we enter that into QuickBooks. Then from QuickBooks, we do a vendor request for payment, which is a separate form. And then that is submitted to Vicki and to Greg for payment every 2 weeks. What this system will enable us to do is from a phone that the county provides, we will have all of these forms uploaded. Staff will be able to integrate their invoices, take a picture of it. The forms will be automated. And then through Allison and XBS and this incredible program, they will transfer that digitally to all of our processes and formats that we currently have in-house, including our work order system. And so the total investment per month for the 60-month term would be $4,030.29 is at the bottom here of slide number 4. And then if we go back into the HR forms, we'll go back to the previous slide. But what we're going to do is we're going to automate all of our vacation, personal time off requests, overtime requests, timesheets, the cover sheets for vendor requests for payment. all of our purchase orders, our invoices, and all that will be automatically integrated to our QuickBooks system, which will save Dana and we actually have a finance task force within the department made up of myself, 2 other staff, that we enter that information in. It's going to cut that process down to where it's automated. The beautiful part about this is that through XPS and DocuSign, we will have a dashboard to see progress and to see what is out, what is pending, what is upcoming, and what is entered. And so we will have a digital backed up cloud-based file, plus we will still be able to retain, print, and give to Greg, Vicky, state auditors, anyone from a transparency standpoint that wants to see it, any and all expenses for the department through this automated system. We also, through XPS, they're going to integrate our work order forms into this same system. So any manager, any employee will be able to create upon site inspections, daily work tasks, be able to complete, sign, and or create a work order form. And then the system includes all maintenance, all supplies, and all tech support during the course of the amended lease. And so in summary, that is what we're trying to do. I think it is an investment, but with our new tennis facility coming online within the next 10 months, with possibly another division on the horizon for the department, and as we grow and expand, I think this is a great investment to make our internal operations more efficient, more effective, and especially in COVID times, be able to keep our employees safe. And so I would ask the court their consideration to amend the existing contract, which is set to expire December 1st of 2022. It would allow us to get new equipment that would enable us to have this process. And then as we move forward, we would be able to create more digital forms as we grow and expand. One other thing that we would do if we are able to do this program is we would discontinue our yearly service to Facility Dude work order system, which is in the tune of about $13,000 per year. And that would be discontinued because we would have a all-in-one, same format, same platform package to process all of these forms. Be more than happy to answer any questions. Again, I give a lot of credit and thanks to Allison, Dana, and to Justin, who is also on here from XPS.
All right. Wow, Chris. That's quite an informative presentation. When you said at first about I want to give a presentation on my new copying machine, I thought, what the heck? But that's very impressive. Do we have any questions from anyone on the court about this?
I do, Judge. This is
Okay, Squire Cummings.
Chris. So does this mean now we're going to extend the contract an additional 5 years from now, or is the current contract still expire in 2022? Or are we now going to a 2026 expiration?
That is correct. We would basically restructure the existing lease to cover the additional 5-year term. And Allison and Justin, correct me if I'm wrong on that. So this cost would go into effect now. The equipment that we currently have would be changed out, and there would be no additional buyback or buyout of that equipment.
But so the term then, is 5 years from now, or is it still expired? That's my question. Does the term go out 5 more years from now?
It would be 5 years from now.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Any other questions? Anyone? Okay, do we have a motion on this item number 11?
Not yet.
Motion by Gorman.
Motion by Squire Gorman.
Second, McWhorter.
Squire Lawrence.
I'm not real sure who all that was, but
Squire Lawrence.
all right, Squire Lawrence, second by Squire Lawrence. Any further discussion or questions? I have just one quick question. This is all stored in the cloud, right? How much of it is stored on our hardware?
All of the hard copies that we will be able to, our QuickBooks system, Judge, is internal. What we'll do, and Allison, you correct me if I'm wrong here, and Justin, what this will do is this will capture through the 150 gigabyte data piece that's included with this, all of the forms that are transmitted. So there will be a digital copy on the XPS side of all the forms. We will basically transfer that digitally to our existing system. So we will have a copy here, but then we will also have a copy with the XPS system. And correct me if I'm wrong on that, Allison, and how that's structured.
No, you are correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure of that because I'm constantly worried about the things now that you didn't used to worry about. But if the internet went down for whatever reason, or I didn't want to be stuck out in the dark somewhere. All righty, we have a motion and a second. No further discussion or questions. Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Chris, congratulations. Good luck on this. If it's I hope that it's not like changing software programs in your computer always is. I mean, I hope that it's fairly painless getting all this set up, but
Allison and the XBS team, they are just unbelievable to work with. Their turnaround, if we have an issue, is same day. You make a phone call, they're here within 2 hours, and they have confirmed with us that they are hopeful. And Allison, you can tell the group here, within 2 to 3 weeks, we should have a turnover of all the equipment.
Yes, the equipment would be looking at.
all righty. Thank you all so much. Good job. All right, item number 12 is to approve second and final reading of ordinance 2065, rezoning property located at 0 and 382 Long Road from agriculture to rural residential, containing approximately 10.16 acres and presently owned by David Downing and John and Cheryl Downing.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second.
Quarter.
Gorman?
McWhorter.
McWhorter, okay. Second by Squire McWhorter. Any discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Item number 13 is to approve second and final reading of ordinance 2066, rezoning property located at 0 Boyce Fairview Road from agriculture to residential estate containing approximately 5.029 acres and presently owned by Joseph Scott Rippey.
Motion by Squire Lawrence.
Motion by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, item number 14 is to approve second and final reading of ordinance 2067, approving franchise agreement extension between the City of Bowling Green, Warren County, and Bluegrass Network LLC. We have a motion
So
to...
moved, Squire Young.
Motion by Squire Young,
Second by Squire Lawrence.
second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter, Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 15 is to make part of the record a certificate of liability insurance for Scott and Ritter, Inc., Centerpoint Energy, Inc., including Energy Systems Group, LLC, Martin Flooring Company, Inc., Waste Management Holdings, Inc., and all affiliated related subsidiary companies, including Waste Management Hauling. Motion
McWhorter.
by Squire McWhorter to approve.
Second by Cummings.
Second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence, Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 16 is to grant judge executive authority to sign the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet roadway improvements to improve US 31W from south of Kentucky 242 to Dillard Road in Warren County, Kentucky. Transportation Cabinet item number 3, 199. And this
Motion
is,
by Cummings.
okay. Motion by Squire Cummings,
Second by Squire Lawrence.
second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 17 is to grant judge executive authority to sign all Byrne JAG grant award agreements and all related documents with the Kentucky Justice Cabinet Grants Management Branch for the Drug Task Force.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings. Second by,
Second by Squire Lawrence.
second by Squire Gorman. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Item number 18 is to approve exonerated refund for Casmuden Medical Property LLC and Western Kentucky Heart in the amount of $2,550.70 for the Warren County Sheriff's Department.
So move McWhorter.
Motion by Squire McWhorter,
Second Gorman.
second by Squire
Lawrence.
Gorman. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 19 is to approve first reading of ordinance 2101 to rezoning property at 0 and 3354 Hunts Bend Road from agriculture to residential estate, from agriculture and residential estate to rural residential, containing approximately 6.346 acres and presently owned by Andrew Scott and Jennifer Brooks and Ronald and Betty Brooks.
So move McWhorter.
Motion by Squire McWhorter,
Second by Squire Young.
second by Squire Young. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Item number 20 is to approve first reading of ordinance 2102 to rezoning property at 0 and 325 Lewis Road from agriculture to residential estate to residential estate to residential estate containing approximately 6.1108 acres and presently owned by Brandon McKinney, and the applicants are Christian Chandler and Justin Brown.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings,
Second by Squire Lawrence.
second by Squire Lawrence. Any discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 21 is to approve the purchase of a 16-foot tilt lowboy equipment trailer from Miles Trailer Sales for $5,780. There were 3 quotes, but only 2 received. This is the lowest and best quote for Warren County Parks Department.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings,
Second by Squire Lawrence.
second by Squire Lawrence. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Item number 22 is to approve the purchase of a new heater for the new maintenance bay at Moore Park from Big Red Supply in the amount of $2,700 for the Warren County Parks Department. And this type heater is a Val 6, is provided by a single source vendor.
So moved, McWhorter.
Motion by Squire McWhorter,
Second, Squire Young.
second by Squire Young. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 23 is to approve the November 2020 Treasurers Report.
So moved, Squire Young.
Motion by Squire Young,
Second by Cummings.
second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 24 is to approve interfund transfers for Warren County.
So
Motion,
moved, McWhorter.
motion by Squire McWhorter,
Second, Gorman.
second by Squire Gorman. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Item number 25 is to approve the updated fees and charges for 2021 for the Warren County Parks Department.
Motion by Cummings.
Motion by Squire Cummings,
Second by Young.
second by Squire Young. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, item number 26 is to approve the first quarter financial report for Warren County.
Motion, Gorman.
Motion by Squire
Second.
Gorman, second by
Second,
Squire
Young.
Young. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Item number 27 is to approve the updated emergency action plan for the Warren County Parks Department.
Motion by Squire Lawrence.
Motion by Squire Lawrence,
Second, Cummings.
second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we need to pay the bills. Will the treasurer please present the claims to the court?
General Fund, $2,437,493. Road Fund, $335,641. Jail Fund, $395,481. And Stormwater Fund, $75,344. Do you have to answer any questions?
Make a motion, we pay the claims as submitted. Squire
Motion.
Young.
Motion by Squire Young to approve claims as submitted.
Second by Cummings.
Second by Squire Cummings. Discussion or questions? Please call the roll.
Esquire McWhorter,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Lawrence,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Gorman,
Yes, ma'am.
Esquire Young,
Yes.
Esquire Cummings.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All righty. Sheriff Hightower, how are you this morning?
Very well, Judge. Thank you. I just want to wish everybody a happy new year, and that thankfully yesterday we were able to get a large number of our deputies and staff COVID testing or the COVID vaccination, and we're very thankful of that. So as far as I know, limited issues from anybody that had it, some sore arms maybe, but nothing substantial. So hopefully the next round we can get even more of our folks vaccinated for that. So we're very thankful to the health department, emergency management for allowing us to get that opportunity. So we hope that with us being protected, it'll help protect the community as well. So, but otherwise, it's a pretty steady state here as we continue to deal with folks in and out due to having either COVID positive or awaiting test results and things of that nature. So we've got about 96% of the taxes collected for 2020. And so over the next few months, we should be able to get those numbers back up to about 98, 99%. Otherwise, we're just happy to be here, and Happy New Year.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here too. Let me ask you this, how many of your deputies do you think that you still have that haven't had their first vaccination?
We've probably only got of those that do want it, and the majority did want it. But we only right now, I just sent out a last email. We had a couple of folks that were out of town and couldn't get it yesterday. They were in training in Richmond. So we have about probably 6 deputies still that we need to get taken care of. And then we have some support staff, our EMD, transports, and vehicle inspectors who deal with the public every day. And so we got to get them. So all in all, probably about 12 to 15 folks still need it.
Okay. Well, I'd sure like to get them all in there as quickly as we can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Judge.
Mr. Loving, do you have anyone that hasn't been vaccinated yet, or the ones that want to be?
Well, I'm glad you asked, but actually as of yesterday, we're at 100% for vaccinations over here. We're a much smaller number of people than the sheriff deals with, but yeah, that's probably something to brag about, and we're certainly happy about, because I think in a month or 6 weeks, that'll enable us to be back almost totally business as usual.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, and we certainly appreciate the health department, the med center, and also Ronnie for arranging all this. So
yeah, it's been quite a...
Warren County's a little ahead of the game.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom. Ms. Yates, are you on here? I don't see Lynette. So, Jailer Harmon, I know you're on here. I saw you a minute ago. There we go.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year to you, Judge, and the magistrates. Everything is as good as it can be here at the jail. We're in the second round of testing the inmate population now. This morning we're at 657 inmates. That's about 100 inmates over. And of course, this pandemic has been hard on us the last month, but we're definitely getting better numbers on the second round of testing. I think less than half so far. We'll know early next week when all of the pending tests come back. We'll know what kind of status that we have at that time. Don't have anyone in the hospital currently, so that's always a plus. Working with both prosecutors to limit the folks that are serving long-term time here in the building whenever possible. However, as you know, if you pay attention to any of the news sources or social media, the amount of violent crime is up, which also further complicates our ability to segregate the inmates. So if you take into account charges and crime classification that we're required to separate, sexual offenders, and then also the COVID testing, we are in a minute-by-minute issue with housing inmates. And so everything is full, all the isolation cells, which we don't have very many, they're all full. And trying to juggle that with pending tests and people that were negative in the first round, but maybe they're not now. All of that's very difficult. So I do look forward to, in the coming weeks, months, and years, talking about an expansion. We're going to have space, especially if all the law enforcement get back to normal business as usual, and they're bringing in 30 and 40 people a day. Right now we're 7 to 10 people a day and still having problems because of the COVID pandemic. So look forward to getting together about that. Got 6 staff still out, or new ones that are out. So 6 is better than 22, which is what it was when I was out recovering. And so it's been difficult, but times are better now than they were 2 weeks ago. And we look forward to 2 weeks from now when the latest round of inmates have recovered and we'll be moving forward. Hopefully 2021 will be much better than 2020 was. So I'll echo everyone else, a shout out to the health department that I work with every day in all of the COVID reporting and things that are required. So the folks over there have been great to deal with. And then of course, Ronnie and Tim and Travis at Emergency Management for helping to facilitate all of the vaccination process. So we appreciate everybody and looking forward in a couple of weeks to a better report as far as our recovery from the outbreak here at the jail.
Okay. Thank you so much, Stephen. Mr. Comer.
Thank you, Judge. Just let everybody know we are operating all of our facilities. We have started to do some tournaments. We actually have a tournament this weekend. We're operating at a capacity of 15% per the KHSAA guidelines. We've got all the safety precautions in place and equipment that we've been, that Fiscal courts allowed us to get to help us through this pandemic. And we're confident that we're going to be able to mitigate the spread while at the same time allowing families and young people to get back into some type of new normal routine to have a little bit of fun, but doing it as safely as possible. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Chris. Chris, are you going to be available a few minutes after court so I can give you a buzz or on your cell phone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Moore.
Hey, Judge, hey, Court. Again, kind of echoing what everyone said, just hoping this year is better than last. And, you know, we're looking forward to being able to get vaccines for our staff as well. We've got a lot interested. We realize that we need to get our law enforcement and those that are essential workers and high risk done first. But similar to Chris in the Parks Department, we've been operating at a work from home at least 80% of the time. We've got staff that are in and out of the office, but we're trying to limit the number of people in the building. And we still haven't opened up to the public yet. Doing all of our permitting and stuff through email and different online avenues, as well as curbside pickup, but definitely looking forward to that. Another thing, and I included in all your packets, was just a quick summary of our inspection totals, primarily for our inspection side of things, building, electric, code enforcement. There's also some stormwater information, but the big thing to point out is just the number of our applications and the number of our permits, inspections that have went up, 18% increase, almost 19% in permit applications, even in a time when we thought that things may slow down. It's a good sign for Warren County and how our construction-related economy continues to thrive. Other thing, kind of a negative, if you want to call it, is we did almost 2,000 building inspections with one building inspector this year. So clearly that's a problem that we're facing. We're very thankful that the court has approved some staff changes on our personnel today. We hired another part-time code enforcement officer who will start later this month. You'll see our code enforcement totals. We did 1,420 inspections with one part-time code enforcement officer. And, because of that, and we have a backlog, we do have a lot of complaints, and then we do work the cases pretty thoroughly. So this new person will help drastically. I'll give you maybe an introduction here later in the next meeting or two to that new individual. He should be starting here. He is a former Louisville Metro police officer, retired, living close. I think he'll fit in really well with our current code officer, who is also former BGPD, just because that's the type of individual sometimes it takes to knock on doors and tell somebody their property is not in compliance. Also thankful that we were able to hire another, bring our part-time admin assistant full-time. We clearly have a lot of paperwork that goes around through building permit, electrical permits, and code enforcement. So that's a big help. And just like every other department in the state, we'll be looking for a building inspector, but they're not growing on trees anymore. Lord's not making building inspectors like he used to. So That's a challenge, but we're going to try to take care of that. But again, thank you for all the support over the last year that you all gave to us. And if you've got any questions on those numbers, feel free to ask or give me a call. Thank you.
Just one quick thing, Josh, everything moving okay on the changes on the roundabout curbing?
So I will be bringing you guys an update probably the next meeting, but I went on ahead. We had some money left on our contract with Scotty's Contracting that did the roundabout. We actually ran about just under 15,000 under budget. We knew that we were going to have to address some curbing because our motorists just can't seem to keep all wheels on the pavement. But I have given them the green light. We're working through scheduling because we will need to shut down that intersection for a single day. So with school going back next week, we're trying to figure out when the best time to do that is. But that should be happening soon. And while you ask, Judge, I'll update you on our bridge projects. Old Richardsville Road Bridge, that is still being designed, tweaked with American engineers. Hopefully we'll have something to them very soon. I spoke to Magistrate Young yesterday about the Little Beaver Creek Bridge that you all approved. That one is tied up in what I like to call red tape. You've got to get approval from Division of Water, Army Corps of Engineers, Fish and Wildlife. And so all those processes are ongoing, but it happened to happen at Christmas time when people were taking vacations. And so I am hopeful that we get everything approved in the next 30 to 60 days, but we may choose to do some of that construction later this summer. As Magistrate Young and I talked, we've got half a dozen or so homes on the other side of that bridge that there's not an easy way for school bus pickup when we close that bridge down. So we may look at pushing that to the summer when the water's down and we don't have to worry about school buses. But once all those approvals are done, I'll update everybody again on that as well.
Okay. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Pearson?
Morning, Judge. Apologize, been busy trying to make sure and working actually as we speak to get maybe the rest of Sheriff Hightower's people in today. It's been a busy week. I want to reach out and thank the Medical Center, Greenview Hospital, the Bear River Health Department, all the staff that's been working diligently to try to get the vaccinations into these important individuals in our community to move forward. Numbers is we've already probably got 4,000 plus healthcare workers vaccinated, a large percentage of our first responders that wanted, and that's going to continue so that we can hopefully in the near future move to the next phase. But I want to say thanks, Judge, for taking the phone calls all day long and into the night, and it's going to continue until we can say that we're close to finish, but we've got a long road yet.
We have a long way. It's amazing the number that we're anticipating to get to want to be vaccinated. I assume we're going to start the 70s and above next week, or is that premature to?
We're working on that as we speak, Judge. I can't definitively give you an answer, but as quickly as we can make that next phase open, we're going to do that to the public. But I'll keep everybody abreast as soon as that happens.
Thank you. I appreciate your hard work on this. I know you're working just about around the clock. Need to make sure you get a little sleep every now and then.
Thank you.
Mr. Brandstetter.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Good, Judge. Thank you. We're back open and trying to work.
We got everybody else in there healthy?
Everybody's tested negative so far. We're waiting the results on one person. And I don't think there's a problem there because he was part-time and wasn't around Wanda, you know.
Yeah. How's she doing, by the way?
She's holding her own. She's still extremely weak and still coughing. They give her the remdesivir or whatever treatment, and she's on oxygen. But as of yesterday afternoon, talking to him, she's still free of pneumonia, which I think's a real positive. So we're hoping she's making her way back towards good health. Kenny, her husband, seems to, last word's getting stronger every day. They treated him with antibodies, and he seems to be coming along. So hopefully with prayers, they'll both be okay within a period of time.
Well, please give Wanda and Kenny our best.
I will. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Appling, I saw you on there somewhere, in a new meeting room or somewhere. Bob Appling. There you are.
Well, I'm in here in the conference room, and my laptop went down, so I'm in here in the conference room, sitting here with all my friends, and we've got a small staff, and so far we've been fortunate, nobody's been contacted it. We have one that has to work at home about 50% of the time because of childcare and all that, but we're set up where they can do that successfully. But we've been pretty fortunate so far. Hopefully the vaccination will be turning loose here for long, where we can get everybody vaccinated in there. But so far, nobody's got it in our office. But our success rate as far as licensing contractors has been good this year. And we've had mostly curbside service, but it's worked real well. So I hope everybody else stays healthy. Thank you, Judge.
Good. Thanks so much, Bob. Stay safe. Keep everybody safe over there. Mr. Peterson, got your new and improved winter beard, I see.
Yeah, new and improved laziness, yes, sir. I just echo everybody else's comments. We're kind of working the same as everybody else has said, kind of some in the office, some at home. We are open to the public, limited just to drop stuff off if they can't get it to us electronically. But just to kind of echo some of the stuff Josh mentioned earlier, it's been a very, very busy year despite COVID. The natural assumption is that activities are down, but I think this is going to be, we'll have our final numbers maybe by the end of this week, but this will probably be a near record year for us, certainly one of our top 5 years for activity. So we look to that to continue into 21 and make Josh even more busy with building permits. So just wanted to mention that, but thank you all.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Ben. Mr. Lackey's not on here. Mr. Markham.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you,
All
Judge. Yeah.
Thank you for your hard work, James. And do you have all your staff good now?
Everybody's back to work that had it. We still got staff that needs to be vaccinated, but we're just kind of waiting to get in line. Ronnie's been really good about that and appreciate what they've done.
Thanks. I'm sure Ronnie will be in touch.
Oh, yes.
Right away. Okay. Okay, Mr. Gorman? Esquire Gorman, can you hear me?
I was going to say Mr. Gorman's my dad's name. You can call me Doug. But Judge, I appreciate it. A couple things. One, just wanted to welcome Ball Metal Beverage Manufacturing to Bowling Green. That's a great win for the community and a great work from the economic development standpoint. Just really a tremendous company. And if you get a chance, check them out. Just do a little background on a great organization coming to town. I want to say something, I guess I'll say it on the Zoom, but to Ronnie and to others at Warren County, just a question. I don't mind telling you, I've had an issue since day one on the numbers that are reported for COVID from the state. And to me, not that they're wrong or anything, I just wonder how they're being reported. And I've always said, I would bet that we know January 4th how many people were tested. And I don't understand why we don't wait 5 days and say, here are the numbers for everyone that's tested on January 4th. That's what I think personally. I just think we juggle those. One thing that might help us though for Warren County, because I've been getting calls about the vaccine. We talk about the thousands of vaccines, et cetera, and people do it. And I think maybe we should put something on our social media platforms out there daily about the number of vaccines that we administered in Warren County, and do two things. One, have the number we did that day and then the cumulative total. Because the general public right now doesn't know if we've given out 1,400, 700, 2,900, 5,600. And I do think when they start realizing the magnitude of the number of vaccines we've given out, it will start to, they don't need to stop doing what they're doing, but it will give them a little sense of relief of we are tackling this problem. And so everyone's done a great job, but I would just request that we start to be a little more active on giving communicating with the general public about how many we're giving out, so they can kind of get a sense of that for Warren County.
Yeah, I agree. The general public certainly doesn't know. And Ronnie, can you give me the I mean, as of yesterday, we didn't know for sure. Now,
Yeah.
Ronnie has been doing a lot of investigating, and maybe he has that. Can you announce anything? I mean, do you have anything definitive?
What I've put together in reporting, and part of the issue is each facility has a different reporting place to go to at the state. I've complained and tried to get them to streamline that process so we at the local levels would be able to share that information. But luckily, the local facilities have given me some numbers. It looks like we're over 5,000 vaccines have already been put out into our community. The testing numbers, labs report to this place, facilities report to another place. It goes to the state. We wait days before we get that information. So it's been difficult for us to give good, accurate information to the public. But I agree, Doug. We're working on trying to streamline that process. We've already been in touch with Crowd South, how to answer some of the questions that we see from the public. Hopefully over this weekend, that maybe by the first of the week, we can get some solid answers, solid information to get out to the general public.
Okay.
I hope.
And Ronnie, I know you're working on tirelessly. I never cease to be amazed from Frankfurt. I know they have their hands full, but at the same time, this isn't rocket science. We have X number of vaccines that we've been distributed to the state. We should know each county. We should know how many are given. I'm sorry, it drives me up the wall. And I think it would just help the general public consider if they knew how many Warren Countyans had been administered that vaccine. But that's just a rant. But I appreciate all your hard work. I know it's not from our end. It's a little higher up, but just for what it's worth. So thank you.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And Ronnie and I both have been, well, I shouldn't say Ronnie has been. I've been making a fool of myself in Frankfurt trying to get that information so that we can provide it to the public. The public is understandably anxious about getting vaccinations. I have multiple calls every day, people wanting to know how to do it. And of course, we're having to wait until we have the availability of the vaccine. And as of yesterday, we started vaccinating in earnest, not just healthcare workers. And so I believe we're going to try to get our arms around it, and we'll start reporting the most accurate information we can get. But until yesterday, we basically, or maybe day before yesterday, we had no information other than what we had received at our public health department. And now we're accumulating the numbers from the different providers, and hopefully we'll start sharing those numbers once we get our arms around where they are. And how many have been administered of the first doses and how many have been administered of the second doses. Some of the people who got Pfizer early on through the hospitals are already having their second round. So you kind of count those at once, but I guess what we need to try to provide is this many people have had their first round shots and this many people have had their second round. And all those who've had second rounds, I believe, are in the healthcare workers area. But if I misspoke on any of that, Ronnie, please correct me.
No, you're correct, Judge.
Okay. All right. But that's a good comment, Doug, and truthfully, I totally 100% agree with you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Ron.
Squire Cummings?
Thank you, Judge. I have a couple things. First of all, I want to publicly send my condolences out to Doug Gorman and his family, the passing of his brother. Sorry for the loss. Just want to publicly acknowledge that. Dave, we were with you in prayers and continue his family deals with that. So.
Thank you.
Secondly, I want to thank Ronnie and them for allowing us to get in and get the vaccine yesterday. I really appreciate it. It's good to see both Stephen and James back and healthy and good, and glad you all are well. Just want to probably early shout out happy retirement to Bob Branstetter. I think is at the end of this month that he actually is
He's changed his mind. Changed his mind.
Yeah, so we okay if he changes his mind, but I want to publicly say, Bob, thank you for all the service you've done for Warren County over the years. It is a tremendous job, tremendous work, and it'll be a huge hole to fill. And just want to say personally, thank you for all you've done for Warren County.
Thank you.
Last thing, next last thing, I want to really send congratulations to Tommy and to the sheriff both about the huge drug bust that was done, a month or so ago. We didn't get the announcement. The feds took a lot of the credit for it, but it was a lot of work done by our local law enforcement to, at least get somebody who's a major drug player off the streets, and hopefully that'll prosecute all the way through in depth. So thanks, Tommy. Thanks, Sheriff, for your all's part of that. And on a lighter note, I just want to say, I hope that before we get back to in-person meeting again, that Squire Gorman will maybe clean up a little bit. He's been a little bit scraggly and just like maybe, I wouldn't say be embarrassing to the court, but just want to say that, I hope that you kind of clean your game up before we actually meet in person. But thanks for holding us in there, brother.
It's a protest for having the Zoom call.
Thank you, Judge. I appreciate it, and hope everybody has a great 21. So thank you very much.
I think you look good, Doug. I'm expecting the next meeting for you to look a little bit more like Ben.
Yes. There's not enough days left in this year for me to grow something like that.
All right. And we all have been thinking about you during this time after your brother Jim passed away, and I know that it's been a long, tough road for Jim over the last year or so, and it's our thoughts and prayers are with you and all of the Gorman family.
Thank you so much.
Squire Young, you have anything?
Thank you, Judge. I don't know, I've been hearing some chatter out of Frankfurt about the internet, high-speed internet. The governor is, I think, wanting to push it, and what I'm getting to is everyone, all the magistrates might want to reach out to their representatives and pass along the desire that we very much would appreciate any help we can get in that regard. So I don't know to the extent that hadn't been said, what kind of help he's talking about or something, but he is wanting to push the high-speed internet. So reach out to your representatives, please, everyone. And other than that, everyone, Happy New Year. Good seeing everybody this morning.
Happy New Year, Mark. I think what you're talking about is the 50 million that the governor put in there for the last mile program. That's, I mean, it's appreciated, but it's a very small amount, and it's probably about the amount that Warren County alone could
Yes.
use immediately. So I'm not sure how far it'll go around, but I appreciate anything that the legislature and the governor can do to cooperate to get those final mile funds to assist with the counties, particularly Warren County. But every county throughout the country is in desperate need, more so now because of COVID than ever before. The schools, businesses, as Josh was saying a minute ago, they had a certain number of people or certain percentage of their time that they're having to work from home already. And that's happening all over the country. And a lot of people are moving from communities that can't provide the internet service so that they can work from home. They're moving to communities where they can find the internet service so they can work from home. And teachers and parents are just absolutely upset about not being able to do their homework and get their work done with the students. It's very frustrating to everyone involved. So we're certainly for almost anything that can help to achieve what needs to be achieved in Warren County and every other county for the benefit of the students, teachers, education, business. It's vitally important during this period of time, and I don't see it getting any better. I think the need is going to be paramount for the foreseeable future. Okay, Squire Larry Lawrence. I see Larry's iPad lit up here.
Good.
How are you, Tom?
I'm doing good. I just wanted to wish everybody a happy new year like everybody else has and tell everybody to stay safe. It's really good to see everybody, even though it's just on Zoom meeting, and I really look forward to when we start having our in-person meetings again so we can see everybody. Tony Payne, I want his back to hurry up and get to feeling better. I hope he makes 100% recovery as soon as possible, because I've heard a lot of people talk about back pain. It seems like something that's really, really, really bad. That I haven't had to experience it myself, but I don't want anybody to have to suffer for sure. And also, congratulations to Bob Branstetter on his retirement out there. And I just hope everybody's safe and has a really good 2021, a whole lot better than 2020, I sure hope. And I'll see you guys at the next meeting, I'm sure, and talk to you many times between now and then.
All right. Thank you, Tom.
Also, Judge, Rex and Tony, I sent that link, that email that I received yesterday for the training. I sent that to you guys.
Thank you.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay, Squire McWhorter.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year. Just hope we'll continue to pray for our country, for healing. It's been a tough week up there, and I wouldn't want it to be there, I can tell you that. But and I wish Tony the best to get well soon, and hopefully he can be at our next meeting.
Thank you so much, Rex. Let's see here. Ms. Milliken.
Thank you, Judge. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Mr. Burrell?
Thanks, Judge. It's muted.
Deputy Judge Smith? Happy New Year, Marie. Court Clerk, Ms. Hale, where are you? I see you.
Yes, Happy New Year, Judge, and to all the magistrates and department heads and whoever's on here. And I hope Tony gets well, and happy belated birthday to Doug Gorman.
Oh, that's right. I saw you cutting your birthday cake or blowing the candles out, or trying to.
It was big, 58. They didn't have an 8 evidently at Kroger, so it was 5 with just a bunch of candles. So there we go. So,
That second childhood comes early now.
you got it. That's right. That's right.
Happy birthday, Doug.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bob Brenstetter, I can tell you that everyone feels the same way. You have been doing an outstanding job as PVA. And I think everyone on this call is as sorry to see you go as I am. If they're not, shame on them, because you've done an outstanding job every day you've been in office.
Thank you. There's some things that probably not going to get done that we hoped had. That's one reason I stayed the extra 30 days. We're still working on them, trying to get the new computer thing put in and whatnot. But other than that, Judge, I thank everybody, and it's been a good run. I think it's time for me to look at other things. I wish everybody well, and like everybody else, hope 2021 is a super year compared to what we've had.
It has to be. It has to be. Well, anyway, we are excited about a lot of good things happening here in Warren County. We've got as many projects working as we have in a long time. The Ball Corporation is really and truly, well, it is the biggest project we've had since Bowling Green Metal Forming back in 2004. So it's incredible how much economic development we've had, with over $3.6 billion of new investments just in the last 11 years. We're very proud of what's going on, and I know every other county in the Commonwealth of Kentucky is jealous of all the good things happening here in Bowling Green. We're proud to be the bright spot in the country right now. So is there any other business to be brought before this body?
Next court
Let's
meeting?
announce next meeting, yeah.
Next court meeting. Next court meeting is Friday, January 22nd, 2021, 9 o'clock, right here. Well, not right here on Zoom, unless something dramatic happens between now and then. Particularly if things keep going in the same direction, we're going to be on Zoom for at least I'd say another month anyway, maybe longer. So I know no one likes that, but we've had a lot of activity in and around the courthouse, and we don't really need to let that expand throughout the community.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn by Squire Cummings, second by Squire Gorman.
My job,
Okay.
Ron.
Thanks, guys. Y'all be good.
Happy New Year.
See ya.
Who was it?